So my parents, I think, watched a Rescue 911 where a kid went missing. So it got them scared. They were like, I think they took it as like, look, you guys are getting kidnapped. There's nothing we can do. It's happening. So they wanted us to be prepared for it. So instead of like, I don't know, self-defense, give us a gun, I don't know, something. What they did was like, you know, you always hand out flyers if a kid goes missing. They were like, let's just get that flyer ready. We'll just do that, you know. So kid goes missing, they always have a flyer. They put a picture of the kid and all the information below the flyer. So the height, weight, eye color, all that stuff. So instead of making a flyer, what they made us do was we wrote on a piece of paper our name, height, weight, eye color, and then we just held it up against a wall, and they just took picture of us. So the picture is us holding our own information. And they said, well, when the cops are like, hey, let's get a flyer ready, we're going to be like, well, we've been rooting for this to happen. We already have one made. And they're like, we'll give that to the police. Which, if we would have been kidnapped, my parents would be in prison right now. No one's going to believe you pre-took pictures. I mean, they're going to just look at this and be like, all right, just tell us where the kids are at. That would be the easiest thing to do. I've never seen this ever. They had to go get that printed at Walmart, too. You couldn't do that at home. You had to go show people that easy. We walked in Walmart, and the guy was probably like, hey, do you think I could talk to your kids by themselves for a little bit? I'd love to just chat with them. So I was born in 1979. And the reason I say that, because if you are my age or just right around my age, very like maybe 78 to 80, you might realize, or maybe you don't know, I've never been called a millennial or Generation X. I've never even really heard any of those terms growing up. And now you hear them all the time. So I looked it up to try to see, I was like, what am I? And I'm technically nothing. I'm on a cusp. I'm a generation gap. And what we are called Zennials, or we're called the Oregon Trail generation, or we are called, my favorite name is the lucky ones. And it's true, we're very lucky. We actually grew up in two different worlds. When I was a kid, I grew up like it was the 50s. Like you would go out and your parents just didn't know where you were. We went to school and played Oregon Trail on a computer at school. No one had a computer at home. It's like, what are you, a zillionaire? Like, I mean, you could. But then in high school, I had AOL. You know, we had a computer at home. Then I got a beeper. And then I got a cell phone. I didn't have social media until I was 26 with MySpace. You know, I mean, social media, like, whatever I did in high school is a rumor. It can't ruin my life. So if you're around my age, you might realize, like, you just end up always kind of being in the middle. Like, I understand when a Gen Xer says something, you're like, I get it. And millennial says something, you're like, no, I get it. You always just feel in the middle. And these groups all hate each other. And the most I've ever felt where I was in the middle was just this one hotel that I stayed at. So a lot of hotels now, they have Chromecast, and you can watch, like, Netflix in your hotel room. So I get in my room, and I turn it on, and my Chromecast is not working. So I called down to the front desk, and the oldest voice I ever heard answered the phone. This guy was a Civil War survivor. I mean, he was the age where you just go, thank you for your service. And it's like, I was in the Army, you're like, probably, man. I mean, there's an age where, like, they all had to go at that age, so just say it. So I tell him, I go, hey, my Chromecast is not working. And I could have just made up a word. I mean, he's never heard of that. I could have said, Bob broke. I mean... He asked if I was staying at that hotel. That's how he goes, are you staying here? I was like, do you think I've called a front desk from a different hotel room? So he goes, look, I don't know what this is, but there's a younger guy here. Send him up. He'll be able to help you. And I was like, great. So that guy comes up, and he knocks on my door. I open it. He's my dad's age. And I mean, right when I see him, you're like, all right, dude, we don't have to do this. You know, I mean... I know you've heard of it, but if I can't fix it, you're not going to be able to fix it. But he's the generation that still wants to give it a try. So I got to let him in. So he's in, comes to my room, sits on my bed, a little too far back, I thought. I just remember, like, the back of his calves were touching the bed. And I was like, are your feet dangling? How far back are you going to go? Are you cold? You want some covers, man? He gets the remote and just starts pressing all the buttons. And I said, I don't know how to do it. And he goes, let's just keep trying it, though. I go, all right. I'm going to turn the shower on, open a window. Let's try everything. You know, let's just see. Maybe it turns on. Who knows? Maybe it's all connected. So we can't get it. And he goes, all right. He goes, there's a younger guy. He's about to come to work. At this point, I'm like, I'm the younger guy, man. I was like, it's all right, dude. I don't need it. And he goes, no, it's a millennial. I was like, all right, now we're getting somewhere, you know? This is what the millennial does. He was born with technology. He's going to fix this. I was excited. I was like, great. He goes, he comes to work in an hour. I go, wonderful. And let me tell you, you know how quick that millennial fixed it? Well, I'll never know because he just didn't come to work that night. So, didn't call in, nothing. And I found out because the old guy called me because he was supposed to fill in for him. He was furious, dude. He hates that millennial. He goes, he never comes to work. He doesn't take it serious. He's got a peanut allergy. And I was like, all right, well, I ended up fixing it myself because it was just unplugged. So that's my fault. I think it's because I'm peeing so much longer and I'm not used to this new old rhythm yet. Because in your 40s, there's a lot of false stops. You learn pretty quick to be like, let's hang back, let's let traffic thin out a little bit. I watch young people come and go. I'm like, tell my family I'm okay. What I eat that's the main problem. I eat like a child. It's not good. He goes, let's go through like what you had for breakfast, or your whole day of eating. He goes, let's go through yesterday. And in my head, I'm like, well, yesterday's not a good day, you know. Let's pick another day. He goes, go through yesterday. I go, all right. I had donuts in the morning. And he goes, all right. Was it like they were just out or something? I go, no, I drove to it. I drove to it, and he's like, is it on your way? I go, no, I was late to where I was going because of it. He goes, what about late night snacking? And I was like, well, I had Sour Patch Kids last night. He goes, did you watch a movie? I go, no, just regular TV. And ate only, he's like, the little kid bag? I go, no, it was a bag. It was a bag of them. If you saw it without a label and someone said, hand me that bag, they wouldn't be confused on what you were asking. I always have trouble going to sleep, and I swear every doctor, it's like I eat Sour Patch Kids and have soda, and I'm like, what's going on, man? I can't. Dude, at night, my brain just doesn't stop. And you're like, yeah, dude, you can't eat Sour Patch Kids in bed. Maybe that's a problem. I can't wait. I can't wait to get back to the old days of just not doing good inside a building. That's all you want, you know? There's one of the last like kind of bombs I had. I was doing it. So as comedians, we do a lot of corporate events, and I was doing this corporate event in Tampa, Florida, and it was for this guy. He ran Tampa's electricity or something. I don't know what anybody does, but he invented the electricity in Florida. So yeah, he's doing real good, and he was a very nice guy. He's very generous. He was all his employees. He was raffling off 2 cars. He gave away a bunch of TVs, iPads. I mean, honestly, probably $100,000 worth of gifts he was giving back to his employees. Very nice. Well, I was one of these gifts that he was giving back. So in the middle of giving this stuff away, he stops and goes, all right, got a big surprise for you. Can't believe we got this guy to come here. And he put me out. I mean, nobody's heard of me at all. I mean, they're all looking at it like, I think I could get this guy to come to my house. I mean, who is... I don't know, I'm a pretty dumb guy. Pretty dumb. Look, I can be wasteful. Like, if something gets to the bottom, I will throw it away. Ketchup. If ketchup gets like that much left, I'm like, blah. She will put the old ketchup with the new ketchup. That way your ketchup's always gross. Another one PETA had to shut down. This was, again, like the 1980s. I was alive. You could fight an orangutan at a fair. They would have an orangutan just sitting in a boxing ring, and guys would pay to fight it. And I say guys because I just can't imagine one woman ever fought this orangutan. I think you could put an orangutan in a room with 1,000 women. And when they walked out, they're like, did anybody fight it? But it never crossed our mind to fight it. Put 3 men in that room. 2 of those men will fight that orangutan. The other one would have started it going, I think y'all should fight that orangutan. So guys get in there, and they're like, all right, we'll go fight this orangutan. And the orangutan would just knock everybody out. Because we don't have the internet to look up how strong's an orangutan. It's all word of mouth back then. You had to meet a guy to just fought an orangutan. And you're like, but the arms are skinny. He's like, I know. That's what made me get in there as well. So PETA put a stop to that also. Yeah. Look, whatever you want to say about PETA, they did some real work in the 1900s. The next morning, dealt with my daughter's generation. It's a generation that I feel like just thinks about themselves, you know? And so I go down to the breakfast, they have the breakfast buffet. So we're all going through it, this little girl's in front of me, and she has waffles. So she gets a waffle, and there's a coffee pot worth of syrup on a plate. So it's like you pour it, and then you leave it back on the plate, and then you go and eat your breakfast. So she gets the syrup, and she just takes it to her table. So now the syrup's gone. And I see this happen, but no one else does. So I'm hearing other people go through, and they're asking where the syrup's at. And it's starting to become a problem. I mean, people are like, where's the syrup? And the hotel's like, I don't know. That's all the syrup we have was out there. I know where it's at, but I'm not trying to get involved, you know? I didn't wake up and just think, I hope I get to talk to everybody this morning. I mean, when you roll out of bed, you're not like, I hope I'm about to get in the thick of it down there. So I'm just trying to say stuff as I walk by people. I'm like, maybe someone took it to their table. Look around, maybe. I just like keep going. You see that little girl's table over there? Maybe they have it. And no one's picking up on this, so I have to go get it. And this girl's sitting with a bunch of her friends. So I go over to them. I was like, hey, can we get that syrup back? That's kind of for the entire hotel. And they go, whatever. All of them. Just blew me off. And then the father in me kicks in. I go, all right, well, just a heads up, just so you guys know, I did nothing wrong, and you guys have ruined breakfast for everybody. I don't know if you've ever eaten out in public before, but do you see me over here with a tub of eggs? Do I have all the eggs? You did everything, and for some reason you thought, I bet this is all my syrup. And where are your parents at, you know? A couple of them started crying. Felt good, to be honest. I was away a little bit. I like to practice on other children, you know, my discipline. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to put this energy pretty late in the show. This is what my energy is. Dustin? Look, thank you for having me here. This is very exciting. Got to play some sports, softball. Struck out, but, you know, it's just a pretty big yellow ball. And I like to play, I play a lot of sports. I like to golf. And recently I was golfing, and I got done, and I was very hot and gross. So I wanted to change my shirt before I drove. So I'm standing in the trunk of my car in the parking lot. I take my shirt off, and this old man walks up, and he goes, Olivia? He was looking for his elderly wife and saw me with no shirt on. I covered up. I was like, what's that? And he was like, all right, honest mistake. And I was like, that hurts worse than saying Olivia. I don't know who he offended more, me or Olivia. I think we could both have a word with him. I'd love to meet her, though. I tell you, I'd love to see her and be like, all right, I get it. You know, it was an honest mistake. I don't have a good body. That's the message. It's not. You ever wear those Under Armour shirts, those skin tight ones? Like I look better without a shirt on than with that shirt on. It just shows the worst parts of your body. You know, they have like plastic surgery, how they draw markers on you? They should just put you in that shirt and be like, obviously you can see what we're going to go after. I did do some sports growing up. I played baseball, and when I was 13, I was playing baseball. One time I was up to bat, and I got walked. So I take my base, I get to first base, and I turned around, and the catcher was still standing there, and he was holding the ball. He's like staring at me, like he was daring me to run. And I was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna go. So I ran, he threw it, over through second base, ball goes in the outfield. I run to third base, the outfield grabs the ball, they overthrow third base. My third base coach is telling me to go home. This is about to be an inside the park home run off a walk. I won't be on Sports Center. This is the biggest play that's ever happened in baseball. I slide, there's a play at the plate, and the umpire then tells us that it was only ball 3. This is exactly true. So, I've got to get up, everybody's got to get up. I got to get my bat right where I left it. I got a bat again. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Next pitch, immediately strike out. I'm exhausted and just over baseball. Here's what I learned though that day. Here's what I learned. I learned that if you're confident, you can get away with quite a bit. Because no one tried to stop me, and they should have. They knew I wasn't supposed to go. That's why the catcher was holding the ball, because he was like, I don't think he's supposed to be going yet. And then I just run to second. He's like, guess I'm wrong. No one's that dumb. And then he launches it into the outfield, who's barely paying attention. The umpire figures it out, but it's just easier to let me get back to him. No one ever told the parents either. No one ever explained it to them. And they were cheering pretty hard. It's a pretty exciting play to watch. And they just see me slide into home and just stand up and bat again. Like that's just a rule in baseball. And you know what? What's funny too? The year before, I got a legit triple off a walk. So in that moment, I'm like, this is just what I do. You know, like I was like, don't walk me. Like this is my thing. All right. I'm a pretty dumb guy. That's the general. I went to a community college for 1 year, have 0 credits. 0. My loan was like $40. I paid cash. All my classes were outside. We never went inside the building. We would meet at a picnic table outside because our teacher was like, you guys will all be working outside one day. So. I've like thought about like if I could time travel, if I could go back in time knowing everything I know now, I don't think you would even hear about it. I think I would just get stuck. I don't know anything. Like I think if I went back, I don't think I could prove I'm from the future. Like who's the next president? I'm like, just name someone and I'll tell you if I've heard of them or not. But I have no idea. I am married as well. It's fine, you know, you just do it. This is what marriage is. It's just one guy talking and the other's like, I'm gonna get out of here. This is not. My wife, one time we were out on the lake with some of our friends and we were floating around in the water and there was a guy in a boat right next to us, and my wife was like, oh, that's my ex-boyfriend in that boat. I didn't know who he was. She didn't have to say anything at all. She was just basically like, "Are you having fun? Because I would like to put a stop to that." And make you stare at this guy. So I was staring at him, and then I looked at her, and she was staring at him, and I felt like she was staring at him to see what her life would be like if she didn't marry me. So I started staring at him to see what my life would be like if I didn't marry her. I mean, we were putting so much pressure on this guy, and nothing happened. We basically just realized we don't have a boat. But my friends were like, "You shouldn't try to fight him. Why didn't you go fight him?" I was like, "I don't know," because I would have had to swim over to that fight. I don't know how intimidating that is for a guy to see a head in a life jacket floating his way. And then I got to get in the boat. Have you ever tried to climb into a boat from water? It's not aggressive. It takes an hour if no one is in the boat. I would need his help. That's how that fight would start. Oh, thank you. Is this... All right. We fight a lot, my wife and she'll just if we get in a fight, she'll give me the silent treatment. And the silent treatment is very common. Everybody knows what it is. And I think you're just born knowing it. I don't think you're taught it. You know, it's just like something that's inside of you. Here's what made me realize that. I was rewatching the movie Sixth Sense. And look, I'm not trying to do a 6-inch joke. This is a 20-year-old movie. I mean, look how old he is now, Haley Joel Osment. It's that many years ago. That's the baby. It's 20 years old. I also have to spoil it for you, but again, it's 20 years old. So if you haven't seen it by now, then I don't know what to tell you. But think about when you saw this movie for the first time. None of us knew he was dead, too, by the way, just so you know. And if you haven't seen it, like, that's a pretty big part of it. But for those that have, think about it. When you saw this movie for the first time, none of us knew he was dead. That was the biggest surprise we've ever seen in a movie. We just thought his wife wasn't talking to him for like a year. That made more sense to us than him possibly being dead. And they don't hide him dying. A guy shoots him with a gun to start the movie. And we watched it for 2 hours, just like, this is what a movie about marriage. This is what marriage is like. Even if you get shot, it's your fault. We have a daughter as well, and when my daughter was to be born, I'm from Nashville, and when she was to be born, we were living in New York, but she was not born in New York. We flew home. She was born in Tennessee. I don't need her growing up thinking she's better than me. So I was like, you start where we start, all right? No one gets a leg up in this family. I love having a kid. Kids have very weird energy. Like their energy is like they want to fight you. They stare at you. They stare at just strangers for so long. And you try to stare back like, I will fight you in front of everybody. And they just look through you. Like, please, I would love it if you tried. I'm a big chain guy. I go to a lot of chain things. I just like to go to businesses that are doing good everywhere. I'm a big McDonald's fan. I go there quite a bit. And I take my friends, and every time I go in there, they're like, I haven't been here in forever. It's like, don't act like I'm the one keeping them afloat, all right? They're doing real good. So I went in with a buddy of mine, another comedian named Louis J. Gomez. And me and Louis, we go in, we ordered our food at McDonald's, and we sit down at our table. And then Louis went to the bathroom. He left me alone with his food. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to play a prank on him. So I grabbed his hamburger, I unwrapped it, I took a bite of it, and I wrapped it back up and put it back on his tray. That's my big prank, right? Like when he comes back from the bathroom, I'll be like, dude, did they just eat your burger? That's crazy that they're doing that, right? Is that crazy? It's a dumb prank. It's harmless. It should never leave the table. All that should happen is Louis should come, he should open his burger, and his first reaction should be to look at his best friend who's sitting with him, who also, by the way, dabbles in comedy. And just be like, hey, I just want to run this by you before I unexpectedly go freak out on this entire McDonald's. That's what I thought would go down. Just a little, hey, did you touch my food the only time it's out of my sight? I just want to know before I try to fight a group of people that are going to be pretty confused on why they're fighting. But instead, I got to learn I'm friends with a lunatic and a guy comfortable fighting McDonald's employees because he opened his burger and could not have ignored me quicker. He looked at them so fast, almost like he expected them to do it, like it's happened before. And he's like, again with this. I will fight all of you till I find out who ate my burger. And he gets up, and he starts walking towards them. I can't believe it's working. We have gotten so much farther than I'm prepared to get. So I just grab him. I go, dude, I ate it. Like, why would you not look at me once to see if I did this? And I get him to sit down, and it's weird. Like, everybody's looking at us. It takes 10 minutes for people to quit filming us with their phones. And it hits me. I'll just sit there. I was like, you're gonna get killed one day, man. I was like, let's pretend I'm not here. Let's pretend that someone did eat your burger that worked at this McDonald's. You're just gonna go blindly fight him. Not even try to size him up, see what he looks like. Do you really think you could beat up a guy that is apparently pretty confident in himself, that he's making burgers, he's then eating them, and then he's wrapping them up and just sending them out to whoever? You don't think that guy's probably the greatest fighter of all time? I think you're gonna walk to the McDonald's counter and be like, who ate my burger? And all the McDonald's employees are gonna part ways. They know exactly who you're talking about. And in the very back, you see a guy cracking his neck. He's got his fist in the fryer. Doesn't even know it. Just warming his hands up. All right, that's it for me. Thank you guys for letting me come out, honestly. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It is, it's exciting to be here. Mainly, I'm quitting comedy soon, so I don't want you guys to worry about it. I'll get out. I mean, I can't get out yet, because for one, it's pretty tough to quit something no one knows you do. So there's that hurdle. There's actually no one even to quit to. Even if I wanted to quit, no one cares that I'm doing this. Like, I don't have a boss. I can't just call Cosby and be like, look, I'm out, all right? Here's why I do it. My dad is an entertainer as well. He's a magician, still is a magician. But just like he started as a clown. Like, I don't want to come up here and come off like I come from some rich magic family and I'm better than you guys, all right? He paid his dues, his clown dues. It's weird when your dad's a clown, though. It's weird every day. It made me not like clowns, you know? Like, 'cause have you ever been yelled at by a clown? I have. Yeah. Do you know how confusing that is to get screamed at by a guy that's got a smile painted on his face? You're like, is this good? It's not good. He was a clown until I was about 12 years old. And from experience, I can tell you that's about as long as you want your dad to be a clown. Like when you're 6 and 7, there's some perks. But like when you're 12 and 13, kids at school are like, is he still doing that? You're like, you know what, guys, just off and on, all right? He is almost full-time magic. So let's take it easy, maybe. The fun thing, though, about being a comedian, I like hanging out with my friends. I got a buddy of mine, his name's Luis Gomez, and me and Luis went to McDonald's to eat recently, and we ordered our food, and then we take our food and we sit down at our table. And then Luis went to the bathroom, so he left me alone with his food. So I was like, I'm gonna play a prank on him, you know? So I grabbed his hamburger, I unwrapped it, I took a bite out of it, then I wrapped it back up, I put it back down on his tray. So that's my big prank. Like when he comes back and opens his burger, I'll just be like, dude, did they eat your burger before they gave it to you? That's crazy, right? Is that crazy? It's a ridiculous prank. It's dumb. It's harmless. It should never leave the table. What should happen is Luis should just come back, he should open his burger, and his first reaction should be to look at his best friend he's sitting with, who, by the way, also dabbles in comedy.
and just be like, hey, I just wanted to run this by you before I unexpectedly go freak out on this entire McDonald's. That's what I thought would go down. Just a quick, hey, I wanted to see if you touched my food the only time it was out of my sight before I try to fight a group of people that are going to be pretty confused on why they're fighting. But instead, that was the day I learned I'm friends with a lunatic and a guy comfortable fighting McDonald's employees because he opened his burger and he could not have ignored me quicker. Like, didn't even kind of look, like, looked at him so, he looked like he expected them to do it, like it's happened before. And he's like, again with this? He starts screaming at all. He's like, someone ate my burger? How about I'll fight all of you till I find out who ate my burger? So he gets up, he starts walking towards them. So now I got to jump in. I can't believe it's working. Like, we have gotten so much farther than I thought we could ever get. I grabbed him. I was like, Lewis, I ate your burger. I ate it, dude. That's insane that you didn't look at me. That's insane. So I get him to sit down, but it's already weird. Like, everybody's like looking at us. It takes like 10 minutes for people to quit filming us with their phones. And that's when it hits me. I started thinking about it. I was like, Lewis, you're going to get killed one day. I was like, you were about to go fight it. I was like, let's pretend that I'm not here. Let's pretend that someone did eat your burger that worked at this McDonald's. Let's pretend that really happened. You were going to go blindly fight that guy. Not even try to, like, size him up, like, see what he looks like, at least. Do you really think you could beat up a guy that is apparently pretty confident in himself? That he's making burgers, he's then eating them. He's just sending them out to whoever. You don't think that guy's probably the greatest fighter of all time? I honestly think you'd walk to the McDonald's counter and be like, hey, who ate my burger? And all the McDonald's employees would just part ways. Because they know exactly who you're talking about. And in the very back of McDonald's, you see a guy standing there cracking his neck. He's got his fist in the fryer, doesn't even know it, just sitting there, warming his hands. All right, guys, thank you guys so much. Thank you.
And to make fun of my generation, just so it doesn't seem like I'm trying to skip over. Another hotel I was at, another syrup incident, actually. I mean, I'm a big fan of waffles, so syrup, I'm around syrup quite a bit. And at a Holiday Inn Express, so the breakfast buffet there is where they have the cereal where you turn the knob and like 4 pieces fall out. It's like how you feed a cat for a long weekend, you know? That's enough. They had batter and syrup. And so you pour they had the waffle iron where you make it yourself. So you pour the batter on the waffle iron, you shut it, you turn it over, it locks, it cooks minutes, you turn it over, you open it, half the waffle comes off, half stays forever. That's how you eat a waffle. So I'm with my buddy of mine that's my age. So we go through, he's not really talking or anything, just going through. He gets to it, it's batter and syrup, they're in containers. They're not labeled, but they're in clear containers. He gets the syrup and starts pouring it on the waffle iron. And I'm not even stopping him because he's not doing it where he's going, I've never done that. He's doing it where we're probably going to try it after. I mean, he's just like, you're like, dude, I can't wait to see what this guy's making. Like, he might know something that I don't know. He shuts it, turns it over, it cooks. He's like looking at us. We're like, I mean, the whole line's like, hey, what is that going to be? And it makes black smoke is what it makes. Just, I mean, dark black smoke. Just starts filling the lobby. The manager comes over. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I guess I poured the wrong one. These are not labeled. And the guy's like, they're in clear containers. Do you not know the difference of batter and syrup? And he's like, I bet it happens all the time. He goes, I've worked here my whole life and I've never seen this. So they threw the waffle iron. They just throw it away. That's what they have to do. Just throw it away. It's over. And now there's no waffle. I mean, we went from all about to get a waffle to it's upside down in a trash can. And then he just turns and looks, and it's just a line of people, that little foam plate. And just everybody's sad. I just hear someone in the back go like, I set my alarm for this. I mean, 2 guys didn't have shoes on. They go, I ran down with no shoes in that elevator. I thought I was going to miss it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Unbelievable. So I'm Nate. Pretty lazy guy. I realized how lazy I was recently. I was watching a football game, and I was sitting on my couch, and I was going to get something to drink. Right when I get up to go, one team kicked off to the other team. Before I could get back, they ran a 100-yard kickoff return, and I missed it. Like, the guy ran 100 yards before I could get 3 to maybe 4 yards. That guy also had 11 people really trying not to let him run 100 yards. I had nobody. No one cared what I was doing. When you watch sporting events, too, I feel like the commercials that they have, they're like advertising towards like professional athletes. Like, they have like running shoes. They're like, oh, you should buy these shoes. Then it shows like an NFL player like running with a tire tied to his back. And you're like, all right, well, how do those shoes look with jeans and sitting down? Because that's how I will be using them. I got to get tire and a rope. That's a lot. That's a lot you're asking. Someone gave me an Under Armour shirt. Do you know those? It's like skin tight. Like, you're like, it just shows the worst parts of your body. I look better without a shirt on than with that shirt on. Just brutal. You know, like in plastic surgery, how they draw like markers on you and stuff? Like, they should just put you in that shirt and be like, obviously you can see where we're going to go after the target areas. I always tell people I got to get back in shape, but I mean, I've never been in shape. So most people are like, if I can get back to my 20s, I would have to go back to 7. Like, if I could go back to when I was 7, I was killing it. For me, a good workout would be walking to McDonald's. Would be a great start. You know, maybe stand up and eat it. See if that does something. Instead, I ordered the P90X videos. Thought I could do that. You know, never worked out a day in my life. So let's do what the Navy SEALs do. I did not do it. You know what made me order it? Like, you know, in the commercial, you know, they show like a before body and then an after body. I was like blown away by the before body. I thought that's what you get to look like. I was like, that guy looks great. Then I saw the after body and I was like, does the before body guy have a DVD? Because that guy looks more my speed, you know? Like, what did he do to get to that? And I'll just do that. Thank you. Thank you. No, come on. Thank you, guys. I signed up for a mixed martial arts class as well. Made it one day. That's it. Like, they want you. It's about fighting is what that class is about. I thought it was like some guys will maybe do like push-ups or something. The first day I go in, they just pair me up with some 16-year-old kid that wants to fight for a living and wasn't raised by human people. And they're like, why don't y'all just go at it? And I was like, well, I think it's because we have different goals. Maybe that's why we should not go at it. I believe he's training for the Hunger Games. I just want you to not be able to see my nipples through my shirt. So, yeah, levels. That MMA is a great way to protect yourself, though. I watched, here's another way, if you don't know how to fight. I watched the thing on 60 Minutes. They did this piece about buying tigers. Like, you can buy, like, if you guys want a tiger, I could get you in touch with a guy that can give you a pretty sweet deal on a tiger. 60 Minutes did this whole undercover report, and they filmed like where this guy keeps tigers, and then they interviewed him afterwards. They're like, hey, do you think it's too easy to buy a tiger in this country? And he was like, yeah, sadly it is. It's way too easy. And I was like, that was my favorite part, you know? Like, that shows why America's the best. I didn't even know you could buy tigers before I watched this. I would have been embarrassed to ask. And then I watched it, and I was like, I don't really have to jump through hoops if I want to buy a tiger. It's not an all-day thing. It's an hour. I'll be right back with our tiger. And everybody wants to get rid of guns, and what makes me nervous is, like, if you took away guns from people, those are the exact same people that will buy tigers. And that's going to be a much bigger problem. You're probably going to be like, look, here's your gun back. And they're like, no, I'm good. My tiger is way better than my gun. My gun missed all the time. My tiger rarely misses. Even if he does miss, you know, even if he does miss, it's just for a second. It's never long. Like, if some guy dodges the tiger and he's like, your dumb tiger missed, it's like, well, he did not. He is right behind you now. And he is furious. So thank you guys so much, man. You guys were great. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That was very nice. All right. As a comic, I travel a lot, and I like to golf. I'm a big golfer, and so I will golf sometimes when I go on the road. And I was golfing recently. You get done, you know, you get very hot and sweaty, and I wanted to change shirts before I drove back. So I go to the trunk of my car and stayed in the parking lot. I take my shirt off. I have no shirt on, and this old man walks up to me and goes, "Olivia?" He was looking for his elderly wife and saw me with no shirt on at a car that he does not recognize. None of this is enough to not make him say, he's like, "Olivia?" I was embarrassed. I turned around, like, covered up. I was like, "What's that?" I go, "What'd you say?" And he was like, "All right, my bad. Honest mistake." And I was like, "God, that hurts worse than saying Olivia." I don't know who he offended more, me or Olivia. I think we could both have a word with him. I'd love to meet her, though. I'll tell you that. I'd love to see her and be like, "All right, I get it." You know, like just... I'm married as well, and my wife always tells me that I don't like the way she talks. And it's not her voice. I like the sound of her voice. That'd be a big problem, I think, if it was like, "It's your voice." I just hate it. To go to couples therapy and be like, "Can you hear it right?" Like, it's not, it's not fun. It's the information that she chooses to tell me at times. We took a trip to Fort Lauderdale, and her and our daughter are flying from Nashville, where we live. And I was flying from Detroit. We're meeting at Fort Lauderdale's airport. I have to find them when they land. So I called her because I was about to take off, and I was like, "All right, what time do you guys leave?" And she goes, "Noon." It's 11:30, and they're still at home. I was like, "Laura, I don't know if you even know what an airport is." I mean, but if that plane was in our driveway, I don't think you could make it. She said, "That's what time we leave for the airport. Our flight's not till 1:30. And I was like, "All right, okay." So what do you think I wanted to know when I asked that? Is that what you thought this information you could give me was a time that means nothing to nobody? What time did you go to bed last night? Just tell me that, and I'll just look up all the planes that land in Florida, and I'll guess which one I think you're on. She said, "I'm sorry I don't talk the way you want me to talk." I'm like, "I want you to talk like a regular person, all right? Just like you've been around people, you know?" We didn't talk in Florida, I'll tell you that. She's good at not talking to me. She can go a long time. She gives me the silent treatment. The silent treatment it's very common. Everybody knows what it is. I think you're born just knowing it. I don't think you're taught it. It's not like my mom did it and her mom did it. It's an instinct that is in us. And what made me think of that is I rewatched the movie Sixth Sense. I'm not trying to do a Sixth Sense joke. This is a 20-year-old movie. I also have to spoil it for you, but it's 20 years old. So if you don't know by now, then I don't know. There's other movies, and don't be like, "We were going to watch it tonight." That we were going to swing by Blockbuster on the way home, and so he's dead the whole time. And I mean, if you haven't seen it, that's a pretty big part of it. But if you have, think about when we saw this movie for the first time, none of us knew he was dead. That was the biggest surprise we've ever seen in a movie. We just thought his wife wasn't talking to him for like a year. That made more sense to us than him possibly being dead. And they don't hide his death. A guy shoots him with a gun. The movie starts with him dying, and we watched it for 2 hours just like, I know what this guy's going through. This is a movie about marriage and how hard marriage is. All right, thank you guys very much. Look, I can be wasteful. Like, if something gets to the bottom, I will throw it away. Ketchup. If ketchup gets like that much left, I'm like, blah. She will put the old ketchup with the new ketchup. That way your ketchup's always gross. All right, this is it. This is fun, huh? Yeah. I mean, let me tell you, 20 has been my favorite year. Out of all the years, this has been the best one. I mean, you know, there's aliens. They said there's UFOs. And no one cares. That's... What kind of year could you have that you could sneak in? Hey, everybody, on the news. They're at the end of the news, they go, there's UFOs. And you're like, oh, do they have COVID? And you're like, no. Like, I don't know. They won't get tested. But it was funny. I told my wife that. I said, they said there's UFOs. And she just went about her day. I mean, just, you might even watch this and be like, oh, I didn't even hear that. And that's the point. That's how amazing 2020 has been. I also feel this is a good year to see where your friends are at. You know, like, you want to be in the middle, I think. And I got friends that they take a shower with their mask on. And they sleep with the mask on because they have a hamster, and the hamster probably has it, and they live alone. It's just them and the hamster. And I also have friends that I don't think have even heard about COVID. Like someone told them to try to go get it. That's how they're living. I have friends too that they tell me they already had it. They're like, I had it. I had a fever. February, had a fever for a couple hours, so probably had it. I had one friend, he told me he had it in 2015. Convinced. He goes, I had it in 2015. I was the first, and it just didn't catch on like it has now. But I can tell you one thing that's gone forever is coughing in public. That's a wrap. I mean, you drink water wrong at a restaurant, just go walk in traffic. The whole restaurant just stops. Your table would be like, get out of here. Get out of here. And you know who that's going to hurt the most to cough in public? My parents. That's what I feel, because that's one of their favorite things to do, cough in public. They love it. That's all they do. They cough everywhere. My dad's choking constantly. If he's not choking, that's when we get worried. That's how much choking he's doing. We go to a restaurant, and they're like, is you okay? I'm like, oh, I didn't even, yeah, that's just what he does, you know? I've been doing these drive-in shows, these movie theater shows, and my buddy Nick Novicki's been with me, and Nick's a little person, very fun. We started comedy together. It's very fun to be friends with. Very easy to trick. We were once at a coffee shop, and I was sitting near us with a big husky dog, and Nick just goes, hey, you think that's a wolf? And I just said, yeah, I do think it's a wolf. They just passed a law that if you can catch a wolf, you can have it as a pet. And he goes, should I go ask him about it? I was like, I mean, absolutely. You know, I mean, he wants to talk about it. That's why he brought that wolf out here. And I watched him walk over to him and just go, excuse me, is that a wolf? And the guy, I mean, he didn't really know how to answer it. He said, what? I mean, you think I brought a wild wolf to this coffee shop? And the wolf's just being cool about it? It's not losing its mind right now? I went to career day for my daughter's school, and I get what I do is very fun. But I was nervous because I'm there with real people, and they're smart. And so I was hoping to sit at a table alone. They put me at a table with a surgeon, which I think they did it on purpose. Almost to show the kids, here's the difference between reading. So the kids come up, and they're like, what subjects do you use for comedy? And I don't even know what the subjects they're taking. I was like, I do English. I do mostly English on stage. They asked him, how long do you go to school to be a surgeon? And he's like 54 years or whatever. It's like And they asked me, they're like, how long to be a comedian? I was like, you're good now, so. Look, finish elementary school, make your parents happy, but then I'd get out and get after it. My wife's always around too. I feel always like near, especially about home. It's like I married a cat that I'm like, you just always on me. If I go to the bathroom, she's like, I'm gonna paint the bathroom door while you're in there. I'm like, you couldn't do it later? No, I had all the time to do it. I thought I'd wait till you went in, and that's when I was gonna start. If I eat something she doesn't approve of, it just pops up, man. I mean, I'll try to sneak it. I could eat an Oreo cookie in the attic at 3 a.m., and I would bet my life a light would cut on, and she'd be like, what are you doing up here? And if I questioned it, it was like, what are you doing up here? She's like, I'm always up here. This is when I do my attic stuff. She put Life 360 on my phone. That's so they can treat you when they're not near you. You might not even know you have it on your phone. It's worse than what the government's doing. I would rather the government track me than her. She just calls me, why are you at Krispy Kreme donuts? I'm like, look, I'm not gonna live like this, all right? If I want donuts, I'm not gonna lock my phone in a gym locker and go pay cash for donuts. I've done it, but I'm not gonna do it every time. God forbid I go to a store she has a coupon for. I'll be walking into the parking lot just to get a call, buy anything, I have a coupon. I'm like, do you think I'm gonna come home and get that coupon? Is things about to happen? I'm gonna try to pay more now that you called. I don't even know if Target allows that, but I'm gonna try to negotiate up on this toothpaste. You better hope they don't round up. I'm rounding up. I hate coupons so much, and she's addicted to them. She will not let me leave. Like, I got a coupon. I'm like, I just feel so stupid. I'm buying deodorant, and I'm like, I don't have all the money, but I'm almost there. But I do have this coupon. One day, I hope to be able to pay full price. We are saving up as much as we can. Our daughter's still in our bed, too, and parents don't like that when you say it. They're like, you got to keep them outside, don't look at them. It's my fault. So we had a kid late in life. We have one kid. And so we're kind of hitting all the sites. And when I get home, travel a bunch, and I get home, I'd want us to all sleep in the bed together. And I've kind of built up a habit now, and it's happening. So it's tough, though, because kids don't know how to sleep. I mean, she makes king bed feel like a twin. I'm on the edge. When I sleep alone in a hotel, I have to sleep with my head on the nightstand. It's the only way I know how to go to bed. She gets sized upside down. If you woke up upside down tomorrow, you would go to the hospital. She's also apparently going through menopause because she's the hottest human being that's ever lived. I'm not freezing at night. She just kicks all the covers off, and you're like, yeah, no, you go ahead. It's your bed. We're lucky to be in it. She's got to, at some point, I don't know. She'll be 37 years old. Hey, can I get in the bed with you guys? Her kids are upstairs asleep in their bed. Her husband left a while ago. He ain't gonna put up with that. My parents are in their 60s. And when your parents hit their 60s, just so you know, you kind of realize that you go, all right, I'm in charge of this family now, They don't give it up. They don't offer it away. They just start doing stuff that you're like, We went to the store the other day, and we walked back to the car. We were in the store for an hour. We walked back. The driver's side door is wide open. He drove, opened the door to go inside, and just kept walking. He's been driving for 50 years. And I know cars are getting crazy, but one thing that stayed all these 50 years is you got to open and shut that front door. My dad wore my mom's pants to a funeral. That was the day that I was like, look, we can't listen to this guy no more, We got to go get him. He doesn't know what's happening. It usually starts happening when you start doing the holidays at your house instead of your parents' house. That's when it starts happening. And so my parents, once we did that, they downsized into a 2-bedroom townhome. So they still wanted to do Thanksgiving at their house, but they don't have the room for us. There's like 20 of us. It's like a college kid being like, you don't do Christmas in my dorm room? There's a table for 4, and then they have to put a train of TV trays and nightstands that just weaves down this hallway. I mean, you're sitting on stairs. We made the kids go eat in the car. We just go back and they can't even eat inside. My mom didn't have ketchup. I was like, everybody just has ketchup. It just comes in houses. If I went to some alcoholic's house, he would have ketchup. His whole family would be gone. But I would say, do you have ketchup? He'd be like, I'm not that gone, man.
Side note, I would like to say, I think the witch phase was the toughest phase for women to have to go through. Not to get serious, but a lot of people say voting. I disagree. I think it's witch, then voting. I think it's witch, pretty big gap, then, voting. I mean, you jaywalk back then. The whole town was like, there's a witch. You're like, here we go. Here we go. And I'll give it to them, because they could have flown away, but none of them ever did. All right, sorry. Look, just trying to get a witch joke in. It's pretty complicated. There's a lot of moving parts. You got to bring up Pilgrim somehow.
I do 1 hour and just 0 laughs. I mean, nothing. And I'm not doing new jokes. I'm doing the greatest hits. I told Coffee with Milk story 3 times. I kept just doing it. I was like, I'm going to do it one more time. I don't think y'all were listening. People were leaving. The guy that drove me asked someone that left, and he just goes, hey, is the comedy show almost over? And the guy goes, I don't even know what you're talking about. There's a guy giving a speech up there right now, so maybe after that. So we get, and then the guy comes up, I have to talk to him. And I was like, look, I'm sorry, man. I used to be able to do comedy, and I lost it. It's over. And he was very nice. He goes, no, it's all right. Nothing's your fault. And I was like, all right, I don't know how that's possible. And he goes, well, when you were up there, I remembered that most of my employees do not speak English. And I was like, all right, yeah, they'll do it, Maybe don't hire an English-only speaking comedian. No heads up at all. Not that I could have changed it up, but it just would have been nice to know, I remember I would fall out of a bunk bed. I slept in a bunk bed. I was on a bunk, and I would get over a railing and just fall 6 feet to the ground and just land. I mean, you don't catch yourself. It's just whatever hits first. All your body weight just lands on your head. I got a full-blown concussion. I'm crying. My parents are like, just go back to a deep sleep for 7 hours. I've had concussions in my life, and none of them because of sports. Just living life, man, Stuff happens to your head. What are you going to do? One was in high school. I got pushed into a wall head first. It took them 3 class periods to figure out I had a concussion. That's how much I was bringing to the table. I mean, 2 teachers didn't even notice. And the third one was like, he wasn't forward. And that's when I realized he's one of the better facer forwards I've ever had. So I knew. My biggest concussion was when I was 12 years old. I fell down. I grew up in Old Hickory, Tennessee, and we used to climb down this cliff into Old Hickory Lake, and we'd done it a ton of times. And so one day I slip and fall. So my friend that I'm with, he goes and gets my mom. They were fishing in a boat down in the lake, and so he sees me and he gets me into the boat. And he takes me over to some stairs, which he had to be like, why didn't he just use these stairs? I mean, they were right next to that cliff. Like, it didn't even make sense. There was 2 guys at the bottom of the steps, and he goes, hey, this kid fell. Can you carry him up? So they carry me up, and my mom's in an ambulance in her pajamas. My dad, who I think everybody knows now is a magician, and he's doing a show in a full tuxedo. So when they get to the hospital, the doctor starts talking to my parents. I mean, my mom looks homeless. My dad's in a tuxedo. It looks like they're divorced and someone's not paying child support. So we have never known who was in the boat or the guys that carried me up those stairs. We've never known who it was. And we always wanted to thank them. I mean, those guys truly saved my life. And we could just never find out who it was. So we've never known. So I tell you that to tell you, last year, my dad he's doing a show. He does these magic shows in prisons. So he's doing a show in a prison. And during the show, one of the inmates just stands up and says, I know your son. Which is probably not the best place as a father to hear that. Just like, I know your boy. He keeps his mouth shut. He's good people. So my dad, he goes, hey, he's like, all right. He goes, how do you know my son? And he was one of the guys that carried me up those stairs that day. I mean, I promise, I was 12 years old, and we've never known who carried me up those stairs. And it was him and his brother. And then his brother saw me on The Tonight Show and was like, that's that kid that we carried up those stairs that day. So pretty crazy. And so since then, I've been actually bringing him out to shows. Bringing him out tonight. And no, he's not here. He's in prison. But yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Look, he would love to be here, trust me. I mean, yeah, he'd kill to be here, to be honest. But there's one day I'll get him. I did find out why he was in prison, which was crazy. It was that same day. They just carried a body down those stairs. And you can imagine the frustration to then be handed another body. And you're like, dude, are you serious right now? Like, we just did this, man, you know? All right, that part I made up. But the rest of it's true.